The real estate porn is amazing.
Yeah, there's there are some shows about like, $1 million properties, and then sometimes they're, not as $1 million as you want them to be.
Exactly. And I wonder who that is that you worked with on another project. I can't think of who, but what do you think is the worst dressed housewives series?
The worst dressed. Oh gosh, I'm
Well,
gonna get in trouble again.
how about we put it a different way? The one that needs the most help from you, Carson.
You know what? I don't watch this particular franchise, and I only saw pictures from their recent reunion, but I would like to go and assist Salt Lake City.
You weren't impressed with the reunion looks, were you?
Um, I didn't think they were great looks. No, no. I feel like they're such amazing women that the clothing didn't really match that.
I don't think you're alone with that thought. I think it kind of crashed the internet with what people thought of those looks.
Yeah, I was like, did they like? Are the stores closed there? Like, what happened? Because they were kooky.
How would you describe your own personal style?
Oh, my own personal style. I mean, it's, kind of all over the place, but, you know, um, I think the key to personal style is having fun with it. I love clothes. I love so many different designers. I love clothes that are not by designers too. I just like to, mix it up. And I think the key to looking good is wearing the right thing for the right occasion. Like, we're just having a chit chat here. I'm going to wear like a little scotch and soda, like flannel, because it's winter. Um, I wouldn't be sitting here like, in a ball gown, like I was doing a Real Housewives reunion. You got to wear the right thing at the right time for the right occasion. And that's really the trick, because you can, be all head to toe in Gucci. And it's like, if you're cleaning out your garage, that's the wrong outfit. So it's just wear the right thing at the right time.
Now, Dorit would wear head to toe Louis or Beaumont to clean out her garage, though.
Absolutely. And that'd be very fitting for her. And it would be very funny.
You know who's giving us head to toe one brand is Heather Dubrow on the OC. It's all Fendi. She loves her Fendi these days.
Oh, yeah. And I'm glad that she's back, actually. She reminds me of Luann. Like, she's very like, she's strong, she's confident, her opinions are what they are. And she doesn't really look for other people's approval. I think that's great.
I'm kind of loving her being back as well. What about celebrities? Like, you've covered every red carpet that there is to cover. Do you have like a favorite award show?
Well, it's always the Oscars. I think that the Oscars are like really the Super Bowl of style. And I love covering them. And I covered them for years for Oprah. And I got to, go to the Oscars and sit on the stage the next day and be there with, the top, best actor, best actress, best supporting actor. So I was on stage with Chris Walls and everybody, basically all the winners. It was so fun. And then when Oprah stopped, I started doing it for Live with Kelly, and I still get to usually go. We haven't gone in a couple of years because of the pandemic. But to me, that's the height of glamour. It's the biggest show in town.
What about when you think of red carpets? I think of Melissa and Joan. I mean, that's kind of where it all started. Like, what did you used to think of like Melissa and Joan? I know that you wanted to be on Fashion Police at one point.
Yeah, I was on Fashion Police several times. Joan Rivers was so special to me, and we got to work together a lot at QVC. And she would always, literally take me into her, that crux of her arm and give me pearls of wisdom. Like, listen, if they send a car, get in it. Like, we're talking about like, oh, this is kind of like, it was like a lame day or something for something we were doing. And she's like, listen, just get in the car when they send a car. And so many things. And I went to see a psychic once, and they're like, Joan Rivers is your like guardian angel. I was like, what? I'm so lucky. So I love Joan. I love Melissa. And, they were doing a very groundbreaking thing because, before them, I think it was all very like polite society, like, oh, you look lovely. People didn't even, it would have been rude to even ask, like, who are you wearing? That was too gauche and too, invasive, but they changed the game, and people, they asked the questions that people wanted to know. Look, where did you get that? Who made this? Oh my gosh, how much was that? How many carats is that diamond? You could choke a horse with it. Like that era will never be again, I don't think, because no one can do it like Joan could. So it's very, very different now. And also, like, the red carpets are very different now. Back then, a lot of celebrities were left to their own devices, and they would shop and pick out a beautiful gown, and they would just dress themselves. And then probably somewhere around Bjork wearing the swan dress, people were like, oh, you should probably get a stylist. And there are so many amazing stylists out there, Michaela Erlinger, and so many talented people. And they do such a fabulous job. Now, no one really makes mistakes. So there aren't big like fashion snafus that Joan and Melissa would have had a field day with. It's a little more tame. And I have to say, even the past couple Oscars, and of course, because of the pandemic, things were a little more toned down last year. But in general, even pre-pandemic, I think the clothes got a little safe.
Do you miss the mistakes? Like, do you miss the swan dress?
Yeah, of course, because those are things we talk about. Those are pop culture moments, and they give the carpet a sense of levity and vitality. And I'm not saying people are laughing at it, but it's just not everyone needs to look the same, which is very, very refreshing.
Was that the best advice that Joan gave you? Is just, if there's a car coming, just get in it?
Yeah, she gave me lots of great advice. And I think just listening to her over the years of being a mensch, like showing up, doing the work, enjoying it, buy a Fabergé egg or two if you want. But she was a very practical, wise, she's a mom, so she had great advice.
What about, like, what do you think, like, the current state of like red carpets is, like with COVID, and like you said, like it's changed, and award shows have changed. Like, is it changed forever? Do you think it's ever going to get back to what it was?
My prediction would be that, all of us are, sick of like doing virtual red carpets and virtual everything, and kind of having things been toned down. That I think that when we're through this pandemic, that people will reapproach fashion with more enthusiasm, not only on red carpets, but even just dressing up to go into an office and dressing up to go to a restaurant. I think we know what that feels like, and we miss it. And I think, people that love clothes and fashion, or just feeling good, yearn for those times to come back. So I'm hoping we'll have a real renaissance, because, it happened during the Great Plague. So let's hope it happens again.
I was just going to say, do you think it's going to be like the roaring 20s, where you get dressed like to the nines just to go to like the grocery store?
That would be great. I don't think that's going to happen, but I did actually talk to somebody who knows a lot about money, and they were like, oh, if we can get past this, it will be like the roaring 20s. And I was like, let's hope.
What about, do you see any trends in fashion? Like, any trends, anything on the horizon?
I do, there haven't been a lot of runway shows just because of what's been going on. But I think the overall trend that I see is like, we were already headed to like, this like wear sweatpants all the time world. Now, I literally just saw a thing on the Today Show. I think it was like yesterday. And it was like, how to wear sweatpants everywhere you go. And I was like, no, don't do that. Stop. So I do see the overall trend is like people are really, athleisure is like the only clothes that people are interested in. My only hope is that like maybe like now I see like lots of luxury athleisure brands like Henro and Moncler, and even Peter Millar, and major brands, Brunello Cucinelli. They're all doing like these very luxurious, like beautiful nylon jackets, a nylon sport coat, very Prada 1991, with like a skinny jogger like pant,